welcome to a new episode of Nile Magazine. Today we'll be celebrating the end of the year 2016 and the beginning of the year 2017 by showing you some of the best segments we have screened during this year. So now let's enjoy it together.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
In our first segment, Story of the Week, we have made interviews with important and successful Egyptian figures. So we've met with politicians, we've met with sportsmen, with divers, as well as with those involved in the social and welfare of the community service and many others. And now let's look at some of the excerpts of some of what we have screened in 2016. Now it's time for Story of the Week. It's time for me to interview His Excellency, former Assistant Minister Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, to learn more about his story of success. Joining me right now is His Excellency, the former Assistant Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. and Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi. Actually, since his graduation from the Faculty of Commerce, the Department of Economics and Political Science, Alexandria University, in the 1960s onwards, he has held many important diplomatic posts, including that of the Secretary General of the Arab Investors Union, as well as the Secretary General of the Egyptian-European Agreement. I'd like to welcome you. Welcome with us, Dr. Gamal, and Ambassador as well, of course. Welcome with us. First of all, I'd like to know more about your choice of studying political science and economics.
I want to tell the young generation that it's not your choice. It is the best chance you can ever have. Just take your decision between the chances you have. Because somebody is dreaming to be a doctor or to be a lawyer or to be I don't know what. So if it's not possible, why don't you carry on in another task? Because Gamal, my grandson, asked me, please, Grandpa, let me do what I like. I told him the lesson of my life that I have never do what I like.
Now it's time for Story of the Week. It's time to continue my interview with Mrs. Salma Hasaballah. Actually, she's a unique figure. She's a multifaceted, talented lady. She started her career as an engineer, then she moved to graphic designing. After that, she wrote songs, she wrote novels, as well as she became an independent cinema film director. I'd like to ask you now, as a documentarist, that would bring us to the independent cinema. Now, I bet it's quite challenging in Egypt, isn't it?
Yeah. For me, it was very challenging because I didn't find a sponsor, any sponsor that would sponsor my work. I tried hard, and it ended up that me and my husband was beside me. Just we paid everything, and it was hard. Yes.
Now it's time for Story of the Week. It's time to meet with Professor Dr. Islam Khalil. Actually, he's an assistant professor in robotics and mechatronics, and he will be talking to us about his story of success as well as his latest research in the field of nanorobotics, as well as we will be meeting his team as well. And we're right now in the laboratory of his research work, so we'll be learning more about his latest research. Now it's time to meet with Assistant Professor Dr. Islam Khalil, Professor of Robotics. Well, Professor Islam, welcome with us. Doctor, first of all, I'd like to ask you, you chose to study mechanical engineering. Why did you decide to major in such a field?
Well, first, it's fun. In mechanical engineering and in robotics, you build things and you see them moving, and there is a lot of fun there. So basically, I love what I do, and in our country, mechanical engineering has got great potential. So you design something, you fabricate it, you realize that design, and then you see your design doing something useful. That's why I like that topic. Yeah.
Now it's time for Story of the Week, and in this segment we will be learning more about a lady who excelled in many fields, in community service, in women issues, and in many other, and especially that she is a member of the executive committee at the National Council of Women. Today we will be meeting with Dr. Dawlat Suilam. Doctor, you were born and you lived in the United States for a long time till you came to Egypt 5 years ago. We'd like to know more about what you have done or what you did before coming to Egypt. So what did you do following your graduation?
Well, I worked as a policy research analyst in one of New York State Senate, and then I work in campaign management, and I work for international NGOs, and then I came here September of 2010. I was coming for a vacation, but previously before that, I stayed in Egypt for quite some times, and I got my high school from here, but I did my undergrad and grad back in New York.
Now, when you were in New York, were you also involved in women issues as well, like you're doing here?
Yeah, I remember the first club I joined in school, my college, was Strong Women in the Rise. And yes, because I think it's similar. Like the issues that women face there and the issues that women face here are much similar. It's not too much differences. And people always think like, oh, but here it will be more. But honestly, there is more challenging too. So I started from an early age, like when I was about 18.
Now it's time for Story of the Week. It's time to learn about the story of success of Egyptian and international scuba diver Mr. Ahmed Gabr. Mr. Ahmed Gabr is the holder of 3 World Guinness records. He is the holder of the deepest sea dive as well as the deepest scuba dive for males, as well as, in addition to that, the most participants in an underwater cleanup. Now let's learn more about his story of success. Welcome, Mr. Ahmed. First of all, I'd like to know, why did you decide to enter the military academy and apply for it?
Well, this is actually a dream, actually. I mean, like when I was young, when they asked me, I mean, like it's a usual question here in Egypt, so what do you want to be when you grow up, so I always had my uncles like role models, I wanted to be an exact army officer, not even a police officer.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
As for the Eye of Horus. In it we have visited a lot of the interesting Egyptian sites. So we've been to mosque like Amr ibn al-As, we've been to also the area of Coptic Cairo, we've been to the Muhammad Ali Palace, we've been to the Egyptian Museum of Antiquities, and we've been to so many sites. Now let's enjoy together some of these places. Now it's time for the Eye of Horus. It's time to continue looking at the temporary exhibition held at the Egyptian Museum of Antiquities, which is entitled Repatriated Objects. And now let's have a look at some of these beautiful masterpieces. Now it's time for the Eye of Horus. It's time to head to Old Cairo to visit the Mosque of Amr ibn al-As. Mosque of Amr ibn al-As, also called the Mosque of Amr, was originally built in 642 AD as the center of the newly founded capital of Egypt, Fustat. Now the area is called Old or Coptic Cairo. Now it's time for the Eye of Horus. It's time to head to the area of Coptic Cairo to look into the churches of St. Sergius and Bacchus and the Hanging Church. The area of Coptic Cairo is located in what the Egyptians know as Old Cairo. This is one of the oldest and first established areas in the city of Cairo. Actually, it's older than the city of Cairo itself. It's the site of the first Egyptian capital, which is the Fustat. It houses a variety of mosques as well as ancient churches. The churches in it date to the 4th and 8th century AD. One of the most important churches in that area is the Church of St. Sergius and Bacchus. The church is dedicated to Sergius and Bacchus, who were soldier saints martyred during the 4th century in Syria by the Roman Emperor Maximin. it's time for the Eye of Horus. In this segment, we're coming to you from Islamic Cairo, from the area of the Hussein and Al Azhar. And today we will be visiting part of the complex of the 15th century AD Mamluk Sultan Al Ghuri's property. So now let's look at it together.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
In the science page, we've looked into many topics. We've looked into robotics, we've looked into energy, solar energy, cars that run by electricity. We've looked into a lot of the graduation projects of the Faculty of Engineering and their various architectural and innovative thoughts, and so many other interesting new projects. In addition, of course, to looking into the researches done by Egypt's National Research Center. Now let's look at some of these researches and innovations. Now it's time for the science page. It's time to look at the prototype of the first electro-tank station. We can see it behind me. Now let's learn more about it. Joining me now is Engineer Hussam Ragab, the manager of the project, who will talk to us more about the electro-tank project. Well, Doctor, would you please tell us more about that unique prototype?
This is the charging station. This is the first one. We have two charging stations. This is the first, and this is the slow one. You have to choose the right plug for your car. This is 3 types. It will cover all the e-cars in the world.
Would you please talk to us about this particular prototype?
This one is for the slow charging. This is for bikes. If you have an e-bike, you can charge your bike from here. You can put your plug and charge your bike. This one for the fast, for the cars. It is fast one. You can charge your car here, but it will take a long time to charge it. So this is for the slow one, to the bikes and other things.
Now it's time for the science page. It's time to head to the National Research Center to learn more about one of its latest researches.
I'm going here to talk about the utilization of wastes of the industry of fats and oils in the production of many derivatives that can be used in many industries like surfactants, like detergents, and so on. We all know that fats and oils are very important materials in our life, in all sectors of our life. The main purpose of fats and oils that it is present in our daily diet. We must need fats and oils in our diet. So we all have to eat fats and oils. They are necessary for our body. They are the main source of energy for our body.
Joining me now is a Japanese researcher, Mr. Yoshi Iwami, and he is from Aisham, and now we'll learn from him more about the flood and disaster management. Well, Mr. Yoshi, would you talk to us about Aisham's project and the research it's contributing in this workshop, please?
Yeah. Okay, I'm from Aichan in Japan, and it is for the first time to our model will be applied to the arid region. It's very challenging, but we'd like to contribute to this region because I heard that there is nowadays a lot of flash flood in this region.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
As for the cultural review, in it we've done so many cultural activities. We've done concerts, we've done as well also songs, music festivals, film festivals. Also, we have covered activities outside Egypt in Morocco, including the Children's Festival in Morocco, as well as the Miss Arab Beauty Pageant in Morocco as well. And now let's look at it. In this segment of the Culture Review, we will be enjoying together a music concert held by بيت العود العربي. بيت العود العربي, the Arab Oud House Orchestra, held a music concert featuring more than 12 compositions from Egypt, Turkey and Iraq, along with solos on Oriental string instruments.
اوركسترا هي النهارده احنا كنا حوالي 32 عازف لكن هي
بيت العود Orchestra was established by Nasir Shamma, who is also the conductor of the troupe. Today we were only 32 players out of 76 Egyptian and foreign musicians from all over the world, including Italy, France and Germany. We play the musical instruments without any singing. We use the different kinds of the oud. and its string family, like the mandolin, the saz, the grand bass oud, and the small bass oud, which were both created by Nasir Shamma.
ده اسمه العود الباص، هو اقرب للكونترباس مش التشيلو.
Now it's time for the culture review. It's time to learn more about the Miss Arab Beauty Contest, which took place in Marrakesh in Morocco. Actually, around 15 contestants were participating in that. And the interesting thing is that the Egyptian contestant, she came the second runner-up of the beauty contest. The Miss Arabic Beauty Contest was held recently in Marrakesh, Morocco. The pageant was headed by director Mohammed El Mushtari. 15 contestants from various Arab countries competed for the pageant title.
ومهرجان ملكة حسن أوات العرب بالعالم مهرجان اللي اشتغلنا عليه هو يعد في دورته الأولى.
When the Arabic beauty pageant was established years ago, I wanted to distinguish it from other beauty pageants. So I made certain rules and criteria for the ladies to enroll in it and join in. They have to be knowledgeable, well-spoken, well-mannered, a fine representative of our cultural history and traditions. Also, the beauty must be a natural one, with no surgical intervention. They have to be maidens. The pageant aim goes beyond dresses and beauty. It is about tolerance and acceptance of others, spreading humanity values and peace.
يعني الشخصية تكون شخصية متزنة، تكون متسامحة من ناحية ديال الديانات الأخرى.
Now it's time for the culture review. It's time to enjoy the puppet theater and the concert for Kulthum. The Puppet Theatre held Kulthum concert recently in Cairo. The Puppet Theatre was launched in 2006 by engineer Mohammed Al-Sawi, who designs and makes the puppets himself. The theatre includes popular puppet shows and a puppet theatre for famous Egyptian singers, including Kulthum. The Kulthum puppet concert is called Kulthum Returns Back.
Actually, I'm regular to hear Kulthum anytime, but to come in as a part like that, I think this is the third time for me.
How do you feel about it?
Oh, it is very excited for me. I enjoy it already.
Now it's time for the culture review, and in this segment we will be celebrating with the Arab Music Festival its 25th anniversary. 25 rounds of music and festivities, and in today's concert we will be looking at a concert. Actually, this concert had two sections or two parts. The first part was for singer Ahmed Aifat, and the second part was for the celebrity and most beloved singer Hani Shaker. The 25th edition of Egypt's Arab Music Festival was held recently in Cairo. This year's edition hosted over 50 musicians from Egypt, Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, Palestine, Iraq, Morocco, and Tunisia. As part of the festival's program, musician Ahmed al-Sharouni held a music concert during which he played some of his most popular hits.
وانا وياك ده انا قلبي حياته بقت قلبك حبك ليا خلاص خلاني شفت الدنيا باحساس هاني ما بقتش اقدر اعيش من غيرك وابعد عنك لو ثواني.
The highlight of the program was the music concert by celeb singer Hani Shaker, during which he performed some of his most popular songs including نسيانك صعب أكيد, يا ريتني, and علي الضحكاية. He also sang موعود for عبد الحليم حافظ.
ما بقتش اقدر اعيش من غيرك وابعد عنك لو ثواني. انا عايزك يا حبيبي معايا انت لوحدك بس كفايه لو حبوني الدنيا عليا فيها مني تكون وياك.
انتم سعيد بالجمع الإعلامي الجميل ده, منورين الدنيا, منورين الأوبرا, وكل سنة وانتم طيبين.
I'm happy to be here today. The Arab Music Festival is an important annual event that endorses and preserves the Arab music. It offers us a fine opportunity to meet with one another. Each year, singers from all over the Arab world gather in a mega festivity. I hope that Egypt prospers in all fields and to have more than one round per year of the Arab Music Festival. A country like Egypt, with its large population and various governorates, needs more than one Arab Music Festival. We need to extend its activities beyond its current locations, which are Cairo, Alexandria, and Damanhur. We need it to reach all citizens all over the various Egyptian governorates. I learned that soon a new opera house will be inaugurated in Port Said. The Cairo Opera House's audience is a sophisticated and cultured one. The audience appreciates the art and the classic music as well as singing. Recently, I performed in Alexandria, and it was a successful concert which I have really enjoyed. Finally, I wish you all happiness and joy. May all your dreams come true.
كل سنة وانتم طيبين, نورتوني وأسعدتوني.
بعد حب العمر كله أي قلبي يقول عارف الحب بس بتبتسم. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Finally, in Memories, we made reviews about some of the most important late Egyptian renowned figures, whether they were of singers, actors, poets, and musicians as well. Whether it was their memory or the date of their birthday, commemorating the birth date, or even commemorating their achievements during their lifetime and mourning them as they passed away. Today we're commemorating the memory of the late Egyptian president Gamal Abdel Nasser. Gamal Abdel Nasser Hussein was born on the 15th of January 1918. He passed away on the 28th of September 1970. He served as Egypt's president from 1956 until his death. Nasser led the 1950 revolution. He assumed the executive office, officially becoming president in June 1956. Today we're commemorating the memory of the late iconic actor Mahmoud Abdelaziz, who passed away on Saturday's evening, the 12th of November 2016, in a hospital in Cairo after fighting with illness. The 70-year-old late actor became famous in all the Arab world for several famous roles, including his role in the TV series Ra'fat al-Haggam. He acted in more than 90 feature films, many with searing social messages.
الملاحة والملاحة وحبيبتي ملوت الراحة حصر علينا حصر علينا الملاحة والملاحة حبيبتي ملوت الراحة حصر علينا يا حصر علينا الملاحة.
Today in Memories, we're celebrating the birthday of the late celebrity Egyptian actor Ahmed Zaki. Ahmed Zaki Mitwalli Badawi was born on the 18th of November 1949 and passed away on the 27th of March 2005. He's widely regarded as the greatest and most talented male star in the history of Arab cinema. Ahmed Zaki was born in the city of the Azid. He graduated from the Azid's craft school in 1967. Then he traveled to Cairo to study cinema. He graduated from the Cairo Higher Institute for Drama Studies in 1974. Today we're commemorating the memory of celebrity poet Farouk Shusha, a prominent poet whose voice left a unique imprint on the airwaves of Egyptian radio for over half a century. Shusha passed away on October 14, 2016, at the age of 80. Seen together some of the excerpts of what we've screened on Nile Magazine during the year 2016. And that brings us to the end of this episode of Nile Magazine. Until we meet again, it's goodbye.